Yeah, I'm hearing you did that so I couldn't play. So I'm not sure if that's something that you envisioned. There was something in your future that you envisioned. I'm getting dehydration. Um, it's giving maybe sports as well. Maybe this is a gender thing. This might be if a man is resonating or a woman's resonating, depending on the masculine or feminine energy. You're maybe looking into your childhood and figuring out it's giving like maybe someone didn't let you, but it's a deceptive type of way where they might didn't let you participate in something, but it's like they did it in a very deceptive way. You might be learning about this right now. Someone could have used something, a dumb ass excuse. Someone could have used wearing glasses as a reason why they couldn't play sports, or maybe like maybe they had neurodivergent. There was something about maybe their behavior or their personality that they try to make it seem like they wouldn't have been able to do sports. If that's not the case, it's giving like maybe maybe you were supposed to play, maybe you were supposed to be on a team, maybe somebody was trying to recruit you or something like that, and then it's like being sent away. It's like someone created some type of scenario to ruin your chances. I feel like this is gonna be, whoever is gonna resonate with this reading, their collective is gonna feel like maybe a parent or a parent figure, someone older than you, held you back on purpose. You are not right now. If you haven't found that out or you've been suspicious, there's some people in this collective where they figured it out and they have been in a space of revenge. But here's the thing, you are not even just revenge, holding a grudge and not saying anything. So you could have been in revenge, you could have been on some get back, your attitude could be real like severe with this person. It's like knowing the truth, right? You see them for what they is, like you see the crow symbolism, you know, maybe this is like you really understanding a cheater, you're really understanding like your role in the relationship, your role in how you were maybe probably codependent. It doesn't matter, it's going to be different for everybody. I mean, when you're a child and you are trusting your parent, that's a very hard dynamic to break from, because your children are innocent, they love their parent, they come out loving, you know, for the most part. So to trust your parent and to keep putting trust in your parent, but knowing that your parent really isn't giving you the best advice, your parent really isn't looking out for you in the best manner, or they're giving you advice that's beneficial to them and not really to you. Does that make sense? So there is an energy of not telling the person. Crow is air energy, a lot of like maybe airing things out, really coming out of this black hole of maybe mental health, maybe having a depression, really because you're not on top of not, y'all, I got scared for a minute. I got scared that I wasn't recording. On top of maybe going through that and having this person going through that, there's an energy of people not knowing, no one knowing that they put you through this, not knowing that this is the truth, this is the real person, this is the real deal. There might be energy of people just kind of always backing them up. There might be energy of like a gang, or like just there's a lot of people backing this person up. Maybe it could be a sports team, it could be all kinds of things, you know, organization. This person carries themselves in that manner because there's a lot of people that will back them up with their behavior or something. Like, okay, you say one thing about this person, but I'm gonna have 20 people that's gonna be able to say the opposite, so you're gonna look crazy, right? So there's been an energy of that, but Spirit wants you to know that you need to speak up. What happened is that I guess they might have held you back from something. They maneuvered to where then you wouldn't have been able to participate. Maybe someone did this to another person. There is an element again of speaking up. This is a time where you have to let people, this ain't about being taking a high road, or this is really letting someone know that they got you fucked up. They got you fucked up. And so what they did is they knew that you had the eye, right? It's not only that you had the vision. It's not even that you had the vision, because there's some cards on the bottom of the deck, but I'm not really going to show them. It's not even that you had that vision. You had a energy where you were very a go-getter, resourcefulness. Like you were gonna go and do something. If you got an idea, you didn't just say some shit. You went and maybe did. And I ain't saying you went and did all the 9 yards, but you did a thing. If it's the first down, you know, you got to like the second down. If it was a play, if it was a run, what do they call it? If you was making your way to the touchdown. You was making your way down to the field goal, right? That was a problem. So that is what they attack. So we need, when you're looking and you're reflecting, you need to be speaking on that. You need to be speaking on the ways that this person would try to squash that, your movement, your action. So there's a specific way this person was attacking that, but Spirit wants us to pay attention to. It's really trying to attack your confidence. It's really trying to attack the very thing that is maybe what they're jealous of. So again, I'm saying this to let you know, maybe again, some people have some suspicions. They're not really sure. You know, I got a reading earlier that I posted on Instagram. People who are in hermit mode, they've been feeling like they need to let friends go. They've been feeling like they need to be in more solitude. That's because you don't need the outside noise. You've been feeling like that for a reason. You go into the hermit mode. It's not for you to feel lonely. It's not for you to feel isolated. It's for you to be able to drop the noise and know what you need to do, move forward. Drop the noise so you can discern who is for you and who is not, what is really going on, so you can discern where I'm being codependent and where I'm not being codependent, where am I letting my too many boundaries, where I need to put up some boundaries. It's all those things. You're not in a space where you should be asking other people right now. The noise should be gone. You should be inviting the solitude in. And so for those people who have already been through that, where they went through, they invited the solitude and they worked through those issues, and those people who didn't call on you and those people who didn't check on you, they're so shocked because you were able to change and adapt with that change in the environment, right? So some people could have known that you were going through a depressive state. Maybe some people was egging that shit on and was bringing up the chaos and bringing all this up to keep you in a fucked up mental state, because again, you can't move. You're stuck. If you've been following my Instagram, I've been discussing readings that has a lot of earth energy, but it's been like stuck. People haven't been moving. That's because there's been people around you trying to attack that. So again, the download was, you did that just so I couldn't play. You did that just so I couldn't play. The funny thing is that you don't want to say anything about this person for real. I don't know who you're speaking on or who you're talking to, but you don't even want to say nothing about this person. But whatever they did to you, they pretty much brag about it. They're bragging about it enough and talking about it enough where it's done trickle to other people. So trust and believe. That's what so Spirit is like. You're so worried and feeling like, oh, everyone's gonna attack me. As soon as you say this, there's gonna be people that's gonna be like, oh, I'm glad you knew. But trust and believe, those people who knew and didn't speak up, they're going through their own battles, and that will be for another reading. I kind of touched on it already. But they kind of are going through their own battles because most likely if they didn't, obviously the collective is speaking up, right? Using your voice, a lot of Taurus energy, a lot of Scorpio energy, again, if you are keeping up. So they're going to go through their own journey. You know, I don't know what's going to happen beyond this revelation. You might maybe fall out again. That's why Spirit has already been trying to take you through emotions of feeling like that, feeling like I need to stop talking to this person here, I need to not stop telling my business here, because it's probably going to be a little bit worse when this you speak up for yourself, right? And then someone's going to be like, oh, they're going to tell you they kind of knew, or they're going to kind of reveal in certain ways that they have been saying this and saying that. So it's like it's going to already naturally happen, but the part of you speaking your truth is a very important element in this, because they are so what's the word, blown, and I mean the best way, where yes, the changing environment, you've been coming to the trash can, getting your trash, getting all of your needs met, and then boom, they finally lock it, they finally dismiss you, they say we're not gonna play with you anymore, we're not gonna collab with you anymore, we're not gonna, boom. Great example, the founder of Saltaire. I didn't know anything about this lady. I bought a little bit of Saltaire. Cool. Wasn't my cup of tea. I'm not going to keep spending money on it. And come to find out, she was she was like this big model, I guess a plus size model. She was this big model for Aerie. And then she had been Aerie for years and years and years. Like that was her contract. And then one year they just didn't renew her contract. And it was such a blow to her, because it was like that was her identity, and it was such a blow to her. But then boom, she now has this brand, this Saltaire, and is in Target and is all these things. And so it's like, yeah, I followed you from Aerie, I followed you. I didn't know anything about that, but that was a closed door. So someone was able to change and adapt. So you are already moving forward from this situation. You've gone, like I said, you've gone through the necessary purge, but someone's not speaking up. They're not really saying what their truth is. You need to speak up. That is what the crow is about. There might be an element of feeling like, oh, I'm beating a dead horse, I keep bringing things up. No. You are being that guidance for somebody. You're being that guidance. The dark hole, the depression that you were in, you didn't have anybody. But now I'm going to tell my story, and there's going to be someone who's going to hear it, who's going to be like, oh, so you can't be depressed and do this, and so you can get through this. And so when that doesn't renew my contract, and what happens when I got fired, and what happens when I didn't have the money to pay the bill, and what did I do, and how did I move forward? How did I think about those things? How did I move forward when someone was so shitty to me on my birthday? Because my birthday's so close to Christmas anyway. So little things like that. Oh, who would still try to show up for my birthday, even though my birthday was, because there's something about late birthdays. There's something about, you know, the school and having late birthdays. I didn't think having a September birthday would be weird, but now, hey, having a September birthday is so all y'all wishing to have Halloween babies, don't do it. Don't do it. It's so awkward. So even the people who are born in like Thanksgiving in December, I'm sure that's not fun, but I'm sure that's all year. There's probably a reason why someone doesn't like their birthday, but there is something a little bit about that. So yes, when you come out of this darkness, when you come out of this period, it's about trusting yourself, listening to your intuition, knowing who you are, right? So you can't let someone know that it can be done if you're not speaking your truth on it. I'm just trying to get all the cards, but it's just not gonna work. You need to be able to, so you can tell someone, yes, trust your intuition, trust the knowledge, trust, even though you don't know where you're going, you take the step, you take that inspired action. Remember? How did you do that? Oh my God, they closed the can on you, but I had an idea, and I said, I'm just gonna do it. And then I did this, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened. But I say all that to say there was someone who was attacking that. So they might have been playing a lot of mind games with you to keep you in a crazy mental space, to kind of keep you in this moon in a very emotional place, and not being, so you weren't able to really listen to yourself. You're not there anymore. So Spirit is saying they might have even kept bringing up a certain year, kept bringing up a certain thing that was to kind of keep you in a shameful place, a depressive state. Okay, let's say someone won't let you move on from a mistake. Everywhere you go, they try to bring this mistake up. They try to bring it up and yell it in everyone's face and say, hey, and then change their opinion on you. And you don't be their friend, and you don't do this over here, and you're not gonna, don't be around her. You're always bringing up the same thing, the same thing, the same thing, right? And everyone just eating it up, right? And then you realize, wait a minute, I think they changed. I think that mistake doesn't matter for this conversation. And things change and you adapt and you get better. You leave that situation behind. Someone keeps trying to bring this up. Someone keeps trying to bring up, oh, well, they were doing this and they were doing that and they were doing this. No, it was to keep you in a fucked up mental space. And that is why everyone needed to fall away, because maybe all of the people that know about the mistake, or again, the person run around and tell and yap and I don't want to say it's a lie, and that's what gets me worried when I say that, because the energy isn't truth. So when I say, I don't want to say it's a lie, because I don't want to call someone a straight a liar. No, it's not a lie. I thought this. I assumed that. It's not the truth. I'll say that. I don't know if it's a lie, but I know it's not the truth. Whatever, how this person was saying it, spreading it, it's not the truth. So that means most likely it's their version of events, but not the truth. I'm gonna pause to. So I got this card, and I think this was a very important card, because again, we talk about that earth energy, that's someone that needs to work with. And so the way that I imagine this card is that there might have been an energy of the person you were becoming different from them. But again, there's just still an energy. If you go off and do this, if you go off and you are successful in that, it's going to shine a light on me. I couldn't do that. I wasn't able to do that. How did they do that? I don't want people to talk about how they can do that. I don't want people to be, I don't want, it's something about them. They felt like you needed to be like a mirror. They wanted you to be like them. And so all these inspired actions and all these things, being a doer, it didn't reflect them. So they were working very hard to have people think that you reflect that you were not on the level that you were. That's just simple as that. But the way I look at this is just like, there might have been, again, you're reflecting, right? So there might be some things about your actions and how you were coming off to people, and it's giving a very like a mousy, little bit of an energy, a very nitpicky energy, a little maybe jittery type of energy. But you had, again, that energy to adapt and really kind of get some gems and get some things. This is like seeing. So again, someone could have been thinking that you didn't have any boundaries, but it's not necessarily boundaries. It's like learning. You're still in an early consciousness of the earth energy, right? So you're still in that yucky space, but you're learning a lot of things about yourself. You're looking at here, you're looking at there, you're looking at all those things and getting those ideas, right? Remember we said inspired action. So you were getting ideas, you were looking at things, you were picking up on things, getting data. But I don't believe people believed you to be in this energy though. Or it could have been, this can represent when there's a little bit of energy of maybe trauma, or maybe something happening again when you're in that energy, or like a young kid where your mental health kind of maybe took a back seat. You know, again, these are a lot of emotion-based action, emotion-based. When you look at the moon and you look at the high priestess versus earth energy, the gross realm, trash animals, like survival and instinct, because earth energy is about all the survival and the instincts and how we maneuver in the 3D. I think that a lot of people really have to work on fire, like Mars. Again, your action, your sexuality, your creativity, how you fight, the planet Mars. And there's also a little bit about Mercury too. But maybe someone has a Mercury in Mars, in a Mars-based sign like a Scorpio Mercury or an Aries Mercury, or maybe their family member or this other person did. Unfortunately, if people don't know astrology, they'll never know what is triggering them. They'll never know what about that person could be really triggering them. It could be something very small, something that just kind of, you know, again, you're thinking like, but not in this card is not negative. You're learning like, you're kind of like giving inside out, where you're getting all these experiences to kind of light your way in a sense, the guidance. But I just feel like for some reason someone didn't see this energy. That's why I'm telling my collective, like, this is what this energy was. I think you have this thought process like you were too meek, or you were too timid, or you didn't make decisions. No, you might have been, but that's not really what that was. You just really was someone who kind of collects data, takes a little bit of time to make some movements. My son just did a story called the Kyoto the Mighty, and I love that I'm talking about this because the story was basically elemental, and it took me a minute. So I'm going over the story with him. We're listening to the audio, and then it was like the sun, and then the wind, and then the water, and then I was like, the next one is gonna be Earth. There we go. And it ended up being a mountain. And at the end of the story, the Kyoto is basically he meets another mouse, and he teaches them how to burrow and be underground, because he was trying to get the sun's help, and then he was trying to get all these elemental helps to say I'm just so mighty, and so I think the eagles or something don't eat me. And it's like, he had to find a like-minded person to teach him something that's already kind of innate in him. He just didn't know. He was living in the desert. He didn't know that I can burrow and things like that. He was using bushes. So there you go. That's the end of the reading.